You sure about that diet? Popular low-carb diets like keto may be all the rage these days, but new studies have found that they may not be good for you in the long term. The ketogenic diet is a high-fat, low-carb plan where healthy fats make up 80% of a person's daily calories and protein 20%. Only 50 grams of carbohydrate are allowed a day, compared to the USDA recommendation of 225 to 325 grams. The idea is to go into a state of ketosis, in which the body burns fat instead of carbohydrates for energy. But while a ketogenic diet helps reduce sugar and processed food intake, according to a laboratory testing of overweight men, it doesn't necessarily burn more body fat. Dieters also tend to eliminate healthier carbohydrates like bananas, legumes, or oats, and with them, nutrients like magnesium, calcium, and potassium. Some of the findings suggest going low-carb could lead to glucose intolerance or even diabetes, though more research is needed to confirm this. Researchers looked at the eating patterns of US adults, found that those who ate a moderate amount of carbs were more likely to live longer than high or low-carb eaters. A third study that surveyed Europeans' eating habits revealed that those who ate fewer fresh vegetables, fruits, and nuts were more likely to develop cancers. Diets sure are tricky, but it seems that there's no big secret to eating healthy except for what we've been told time and time again: more greens, less meat, and no junk. Maybe you don't want to put that in your body.
Botulism outbreak strikes Northern California. A mother of 3 is lying paralyzed in hospital with her life in the balance after eating contaminated nacho cheese sauce. 33-year-old Lavinia Kelly is one of 5 confirmed cases of botulism linked to patients who ate at the Valley Oak Food and Fuel gas station in Sacramento. Foodborne botulism usually occurs in foods that are improperly stored or prepared. Botulism spores exist in the environment. In the absence of oxygen, the spores grow into bacteria that excrete toxins. According to the World Health Organization, botulism toxins are one of the most lethal substances known. Symptoms usually occur within 12 to 36 hours after exposure, with fatigue, weakness, and vertigo often followed by blurred vision and difficulty speaking. The toxins affect the nervous system and cause paralysis. Vomiting or diarrhea are common, and the disease can cause weakness in the muscles. Lavinia Kelly was driving home on April 21st when she pulled over to the gas station, bought a bag of Doritos, and poured nacho cheese sauce over the chips. The next day, Kelly was admitted to intensive care, where she remains more than 4 weeks later. Officials in Sacramento said there were 4 more potential cases linked to the nacho cheese sauce, which would bring the total to 9. On Tuesday, Kelly's family filed a lawsuit against the gas station for negligence.
Eating from the garbage. In the Philippine capital of Manila, the poorest of the poor are forced to eat pagpag, washed and recooked landfill meat, to relieve their hunger. The term means to shake or dust off in Filipino, in reference to the act of cleaning dirt off the leftover food scraps to make it edible. When food is discarded by restaurants, it ends up at dump sites where scavengers sort through the waste for hours, picking out chicken bones and other scraps of meat. These leftovers are later separated, bagged, and then sold to families or eatery owners for a few pesos. Those who prepare pagpag first wash or boil it in water to get rid of the germs before refrying or cooking it in some type of sauce. Eateries sell a pagpag meal for as little as 20 pesos or 38 US cents a portion. For those who live hand to mouth, this is a day's wage and the only thing they can afford. Slum dwellers who eat the recycled meal say it's delicious and claim no one has died from eating it. Despite experts warning that it can cause stomach and other food-related illnesses, most say they will continue to eat it, not that they have a choice. To them, food from the garbage is better than no food at all.
Contamination fears spark Eggo waffle recall. Kellogg recalled 10,000 cases of Eggo Nutri-Grain whole wheat waffles in 25 U.S. states on Monday due to potential risks of Listeria contamination. Listeria monocytogenes bacteria is commonly found in soil and water. Vegetables can be contaminated with the bacteria from soil, while animals can carry it without appearing ill and can infect meat and dairy products. Once inside food, the bacteria can spread to processing facilities, where it can survive for years, multiplying and contaminating other products. The bacteria can even survive being frozen, and can spread to the freezer where the contaminated food is stored. When a person eats food containing Listeria monocytogenes, the bacteria can spread in the body and cause an infection, with symptoms including fever and muscle aches. CRF Frozen Foods announced a nationwide recall of almost 360 frozen fruits and vegetables after a Listeria outbreak in May. Meanwhile, ice cream brand Bluebell recalled its products everywhere after a large Listeria outbreak last year. Yep, there's plastic in your sea salt. Karmic justice comes swift with Mother Nature, as plastic waste we've been throwing in the ocean is now coming back to us, literally, via the food we eat. Microplastic particles typically flow into the ocean, since they're often too small to be filtered out by sewage treatment plants. The tiny pieces of plastic are mistaken for food and ingested by fish and other sea creatures. Seafood meant for human consumption often contain these particles, and now a new study shows that salt may also be a vehicle for plastic contamination. Researchers studied sea salt extracted from 8 different countries and found that nearly all were contaminated with 72 foreign particles. Only the one from France was found to be free of contaminants. 30 of the particles were microplastics, 17 were pigments that may have once been plastic, and 4 were dust particles. 21 could not be identified. Scientists say the current concentration of plastic is low and won't affect human health. But if plastic pollution continues, those levels may increase and potentially become detrimental to our well-being. So for now, maybe ease up on the salt, and more importantly, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Food may influence cancer growth. Love asparagus? Then you might not want to hear this. A new study looking at mice with an aggressive form of breast cancer found that tumors struggled when the nutrient asparagine was missing from their diets. Asparagine is found in asparagus, poultry, seafood, and many other foods. It is an amino acid, a key building block of protein. Cambridge scientists found that when mice were given a low asparagine diet or asparagine-blocking drugs, tumor growth struggled in the mice. In the future, cancer therapies could be improved by modifying a patient's diet or by using drugs that change the way tumor cells can access nutrients. The findings still need to be confirmed, so in the meantime, enjoy that asparagus.
Weed killer found in kids' breakfast foods. The Guardian reports glyphosate has been found in a number of breakfast items specifically targeted at children, such as cereals, oats, and snack bars. A report published by EWG's Children's Health Initiative says that according to lab tests, the foods were found to contain a hefty dose of the weed-killing poison. Around 3/4 of the tested food samples were found to have higher glyphosate levels than what EWG believes is safe for children. Junk from big-name brands such as Quaker, Kellogg's, and General Mills were found to have some of the highest concentrations of the chemical. EWG also said they believe federal limits are outdated, and that the EPA should limit the amount of glyphosate used on food crops. A CNN guest said the EPA says people should avoid consuming more than 2 milligrams of glyphosate for every kilogram of body weight. He continued saying nobody on Earth consumes anywhere near that amount of glyphosate, and claimed EWG was just lobbying for the organic industry.